Okay, day 138. I'm going to change the name of the series to the Awan Brotherhood now because the story has just gotten so big. It's 20 Watergates. It's every spy thriller you've ever read, kind of all melded into one now. If you haven't followed the story, it's about Hillary Clinton giving the most powerful weapons in the world, Stinger missiles and sarin gas, to Muslim Brotherhood to topple Gaddafi and to attempt to topple Assad. It's also about giving the Awan brothers, these people, these IT guys that worked in the House Congressional offices on Capitol Hill, the most powerful cyber weapons in the world. So we call it visas, White House visas, brotherhoods, and wiretaps. And down here we get into secret access and foreign nationals. And of course, we've got spies, American spies in this too. This is McCabe from the FBI, who's done a lot of wiretaps. Today we're going to dedicate this version, the tweet storm, to Brigitte Gabriel. Brigitte Gabriel is at ACT Brigitte with two T's, just one G and two T's. She kind of made famous this Muslim Brotherhood plan for the North America, written in 1991. After the fall of the Soviet Union in 91, they had this Muslim Brotherhood. They call it the Mujahideen then, and they needed to move it around. They needed to move it around to different parts of Europe and break off different pieces of Russia. But they also wrote a plan for North America, and that's being executed through this Gulen movement. So I thought she would be interested in seeing this series. If you didn't follow yesterday's news, what you had is a stepmom imprisoned by the Awan brothers, imprisoning her in this house in Springfield, Virginia. And they are technical enough to hack her phone so they could hear what she was saying on her phone, and then they would scare her by repeating it back to her so she knew she was being monitored and so forth. Well, anyway, she finally called the police this year on January the 2nd, and that's what causes this whole Awan brothers spy ring inside the House of Representatives to fall apart. A couple of days later, the brothers flee to Pakistan. They grab all the father's equipment. They grab all the equipment from the House of Representatives, and they take off to Pakistan. Now, if you go and look at Imran Awan's site, you'll see all this radical Pakistani kind of rhetoric and so forth, and radical religious rhetoric. And his father, who I believe is Muhammad Shah, Pir Muhammad Shah, is also in charge of the police. I believe he's going to be in charge of the police in the Punjab region in the city of Lahore, the capital city of Lahore. There's a ticket where it looked like Imran was taking the train to Lahore that he was put on his Facebook site. So the reason why I say it's Watergate is because the Awan brothers are working for these 31 different Democrats. And every day a different Democrat comes out attacking Trump, saying we got to get to the bottom of the Russia thing, the Russia hoax. And it's these 31 Democrats. Lou came out, and Salwall from California, and then Carson yesterday. It's just almost a litany of the people who were burglarized when the Awans left the country, when they hightailed it to Pakistan. Those are the ones where they took the hard drives and the thumb drives and the computers. And of course, Greg Meeks is going to be at the beginning of all this. He's going to be the one who installed them way back in 2004. And as they gradually got more Awans into the House of Representatives. So that isn't going anywhere. There's a spy ring there. Gosh, I have to go back to Alder James to think of a spy ring that would be anywhere close to that. We've also got all the drama of the Huma server and the Hillary server because the Awans had a server. So not only do you have Huma's classified information and all the things that may be on that server, but you've also got all the three most sensitive intelligence, Homeland Security, and Foreign Affairs on this Awan server. And we're going to visit old friends because they're going to all need visas, and they're going to get visas from the White House. So this is going to be fun. So everyone's talking about this. This finally hit big-time news yesterday. CNN was all over this story, all the major outlets. So it's kind of nice because they almost seem to be following. But you're going to find this company, Sendyne is going to be a KKNR. They're in a joint venture with KKNR, a cell KKNR. They're the ones who control this domain, this Trump email domain. So they had a footprint. KKNR had a footprint right inside Trump Tower. They didn't need to hack with a CIA van outside or whatever that they say on the Rush Limbaugh show. Excuse me, I'll adjust the screen a little bit there. But the key is these CIA hacking tools. $100 billion of them now are out there. And what I meant to say yesterday was the Awan brothers already have the tools. What the WikiLeaks does not know where they're getting their leaks from. So WikiLeaks doesn't know if the CIA's leaking to them or Mossad's leaking to them or the Russians are leaking to them. But the important thing was the CIA needed to get a cover out there to say, hey, tools like Umbrage are out there. Now, Umbrage, what that basically a way of releasing the documentation. Now, Umbrage, it creates Russian footprints. So it's actually a Russian hacking tool that was modified by the CIA so that they could go into a system like Trump Tower, like Trump server, and leave what looks like Russian footprints. So, I don't know who's running these information operations, but you're basically giving the answer to the whole Trump hack by the Awans, basically giving the recipe out. We've got spies coming in and out of these safe houses. So we've got safe houses in this story too. This is the Lorton home, the Lorton, Virginia home, and they're bringing in different experts. This guy's a wireless hacking expert. He's going to work at a company called Lightbridge. You're going to see all these defense contractor people coming in, all these people that are being trained up on espionage technologies. And again, you don't need, if you have the Awan brothers and the Gulen set of spies, hackers, you don't need a FISA court. So there probably might not be a FISA ever produced, a warrant ever produced. So we talked about this guy yesterday. This guy is, a very famous spy master. He's Graham Fuller. He's the one who set up Gulen in this network and set up all these spies. And basically, he came right out and said at the end of the Cold War, after they brought down the Russian government in 1991, he came around and said, we got to use these guys for something. We may as well use them, all over the world. And so it's going to be Graham Fuller that does the Chechen resistance and all the Bosnian and so forth, all the kind of counterintelligence or intelligence insurgency. He's not going to be on the armed side, but he's going to be the one setting up, undermining the pillars of every society, so that when the revolution does happen, it's a rapid collapse, like a building collapsing. So, and you probably saw this where Flynn got paid the $500,000 for letting Erdogan know about Gulen, doing that same process for Turkey. This is all just a reminder, as I've mentioned in the past, of Amjad Awan and what he did in Pakistan for BCCI. If you look at that from the beginning, the war in Pakistan and the drug line in Pakistan was paid for by the drug trade. The arms were paid and the rat line was created, and the extension was, instead of sending just the drugs through from Pakistan through Europe, now it was going to be sent to the United States. The 1991 Muslim Brotherhood plan has the drugs just coming directly into the United States. So we're going to have Debbie Wasserman Schultz. These folks, these congressional folks, are just pulling the house down on themselves. Jackie Spear, all the people that get in front of the cameras, it's all going to come back on them because this evidence is here. There's no evidence with the Russia hoax. So I don't know what their strategy is, to be honest with you. I don't have a lot of proof on this yet, but I'm going to just say that the Schumer plan to get more money out of the Iran nuclear deal, with the senators stonewalling until they could get more money, the McCaskills and so forth, meeting with the Russian ambassador, through this man right here, Attar, is going to come out. And these guys, the Awans, are again connected to Attar. So there's going to be your three brothers. There's going to be your financial evidence. There's just an orgy of evidence. All these congressional staffers are going to be available to be called as witnesses. I saw that when the Gang of Eight intelligence group came out yesterday, all the staffers were running from the cameras because they were afraid of being recognized, because they can be called and subpoenaed. So the problem with the Russia hoax is there's no evidence because it didn't happen. There's all these representatives' names, and they all have staffers. They can all be subpoenaed and asked, do you remember this Awan or that Awan? Somebody said a 1 and a 2 and a 3, but anyway, that was a good joke that somebody put down. It goes back to the 650,000 emails. When you steal all this stuff from the House, you steal the stuff from the Senate, where do you put it? Well, we already know it went to HUMA. We know that 500,000 of the 650,000 emails are classified. We need to release the metadata. No more stonewalling. No more stonewalling by Andrew McCabe. He should not be in charge of the investigation of the HUMA server or Hillary's server or the Awan server. As a matter of fact, doesn't even have the FBI involved in the Awan server investigation. He just has the Capitol Police working on it for an international spy ring. That's all for this morning.